Did anyone else forget that COVID existed? Or was it just me? It's back. Oh yeah, it's back in our lovely home. And I don't know if because we were vaccinated and boosted over and over again, or because my kids started school without masks and caught every respiratory virus and infection possible and not COVID, I had this false sense of security or false sense that the virus was under control. And it is under control, but it's back in my household. Behind me, the closed door of my 15-year-old daughter who tested positive for COVID. If you remember, our first encounter with COVID was back in February, and the girl who's behind this door was the last one to get COVID. In that video, which you can see right here, I kept saying that she kept testing negative on PCR tests, on home tests. Well, just as a recap, after a week that my husband and I and our son were diagnosed with COVID, even though she had all the symptoms, it took her a week to have a positive outcome, a positive test, not outcome. We had even sent her to school because she kept testing negative, and she was at school for 2 days, came home super sick. We ended up taking her to the doctor, and that's when she finally got the positive diagnosis. This time, she had this awful congestion and cough on Saturday night to Sunday. And I thought, this girl is in a new school. She's in high school. She is interacting with new germs. She's taking the public bus to school. So all new germs. And she has been catching a lot of colds, or at least one really tough one or two that have been hard to get rid of, especially the cough. But for some reason, call it mother intuition, call it, I don't know. Monday night I go, I wonder what the COVID symptoms are lately. I texted my wonderful friend, Dr. Juanita Mora, and she said, it's congestion and cough. I said, I think Amelia has COVID. So we tested her, and that thing flared up quickly. I didn't even have to wait 5 minutes for that at-home test to say positive. Then my husband realized that these kits can be past due, and it was past due. It had expired, so we did another one, and it flared up as quickly. So last time we were faced with COVID, it was my 9-year-old who started, and he was 8 back then, and he really is still at 9, cannot take care of himself, especially if he's sick. So we decided to have like a COVID party, kind of like a chickenpox party, and we all caught it so that we can get over, the whole thing in about 2-3 weeks. This time is different, isn't it? Is that your experience with it? That now you're like, keep them away. No one can get this. I don't have time to have COVID. This is like a pain. And I kept asking my husband, do we treat this like the flu? She has the flu. We're going to keep on living. So we have kept her quarantined. Every interaction with her is with a mask on. She uses one bathroom. We have 2 bathrooms in the house. So we have her using one bathroom, and I Lysol it after she uses it. We're back to using all the Purells possible. And she has stayed mainly in her room. She's asked for a ginger ale, but we gotta put her mask on.
Take the empty one.
And the cup too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem.
Don't post that.
So far, my son, my husband, and I have not tested positive. 2 out of the 3 of us is not feeling great right now. But we were told to test again. I'm shooting this Wednesday. She was diagnosed Monday. We all tested Monday. They told us to test again on Thursday. So tomorrow we will test and see what happens. What has helped this time? Keeping her in there has helped. She is doing a lot better than the first time. She was the one who had the worst symptoms last time. And this time, Dr. Mura recommended Advil, cold, and sinus for the congestion and so on. Multi-symptom cold and flu is the one we're using, multi-symptom cold and flu. And it has worked really well for her. And I have to say, a lot easier than the first time. I do have to say kudos to our Chicago Public School who sent my son home with 4 free COVID tests, which, we are having issues finding them, but I know that this helps a lot of families who not only can't find them, but can't afford them. So this was great from our Chicago Public School system. And also the contact tracing was amazing. They called my daughter, they asked her a bunch of questions so that they could tell other students that were exposed to her to mask up. So super impressed with that. So yeah, make sure that you stock up on the at-home tests because they're running out fast and it's hard to find them. Make sure that if you're in big crowds to mask up. And this is the thing we did. Even though we tested negative, my husband, my son, and I have been going out with a mask on. My son's school has required it because he was in close contact with her. So and hopefully he won't test positive, he has to wear a mask for 10 days. My husband and I are wearing masks to go to work and to be outside, just to be mindful of ourselves and not exposing other people, because that's what it's all about, taking care of ourselves and others. So there you have it. That is our second round with COVID. She looks much better. Thank God she's doing much better. And it's not gone, it's still here. And especially now during the holidays, be very mindful because we're all gonna get together and pretend that it's gone. Tell me, have you had the same attitude as me? How has it been the second time? Have you been like, you go into your room and fend for yourself because we can't get sick? Leave it in the comments and don't forget to subscribe.